here's a quick review of my 4-week project. I wanted to make a 2D landscape thing I saw online and learn the basics of Illustrator and how to image trace. So we started with making a project plan, and here's mine. Week 1, I just found ideas and found this really good website that had step-by-step examples of how to make this landscape. Week 2, I practiced, watched more videos. This is when I did most of my actual building. So here's an example of what I did. I just made the one house and just rotated it and used a reflection so I could just switch them around and change the colors. That's kind of what I did for that. Week 3, I just added details, like making the sun, this light shine from this corner down. I added all these trim and everything, the fences, trees, and all of that. I also learned to image trace on the 3rd week. So I found this video about how to do it, but it was pretty quick. So you just have to press Control Options, Live Trace, and press Make, and this will make the edges smooth and outline them. You press Cut to cut all the highlighted part, and then delete everything else so that there's no square around outside like this right here. Okay, so here's some of the basics of what Adobe Illustrator CC is like. Here, this white area is called the artboard. This back gray area is called the scratch area, where you can test your things, but this artboard is where your final project will be. I'll show you some things on this. So this is pretty much how I would make my houses. I use lines. So these are called anchor points. So I can put it onto that other anchor point right here. They're just places where like it kind of makes sense to stop it, like in the middle of the area here. The path is like the line to follow. So if I wanted to make this the same, I would follow this path down. So I'd make lines, then use the pen tool, follow the path to different points, and then make my triangles. I select this all, draw these two together, and they're now selected together, and they can be moved around together. So that was good before I made my second path. I would use this to make the right angle for my roof. So then I could use that as a kind of a guiding point before I use my pen tool. This is how I made the house. This help button up here was really good when I would need to do like reflection. So then this shows you where to go. So you go to Object, Transform, and press Reflect. And you keep it at 90 degrees. So if I wanted to change the angle of the houses. For image trace, some of my harder things for that was it kept wanting, it said at the beginning, it wanted me to go to Photoshop and change the stuff about how the image looked before I wanted to image trace it. And that was just because I had a bad video. This is what my thing looked like on Illustrator right here. And this is what it looked like when I saved it as a PDF, because I couldn't find anything online about how to do it. But Mrs. Dink knew how to save it. Instead of saving it as a PDF, I had to save it as a different format and save it pressing a button that says only use artboard, so it wouldn't use anything like in this gray area. If I were to do this again, I would start with a better idea of what I wanted to do, because I took a long time trying to find out what to do. I'd be more organized, because a lot of the time was just learning how to use layers over here, which are very important. So if I wanted just this in a layer, press new layers, I could name it, but I'll just leave it as layer 2. And then I'd spend a long time dragging them to this layer and moving them around, just so things wouldn't be like overlapping in a way I didn't want them to be. I'd find better tutorials on how to image trace, because mine kept leading me to Photoshop, and there's a lot easier ways to do that. And here's my final project.